Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. After the Misano Grand Prix, Marc Marquez took the opportunity to address several topics that have sparked conversation in recent days. The Spanish rider defended his brother, Alex Marquez, against accusations following an incident with Pecco Bagnaia in Aragon, while also discussing the importance of consistency in his first season with Ducati. After days of controversy surrounding the crash between Pecco Bagnaia and Alex Marquez at the Aragon GP, the reigning MotoGP champion has publicly apologized for his harsh comments in the aftermath. Speaking on Sky Italia, Bagnaia explained his frustrations and acknowledged that his initial reaction was out of line. As the MotoGP world prepares for the San Marino GP, Jack Miller is looking to turn things around after a challenging Aragon race. In a candid conversation, Miller talks about his expectations for Misano, the state of KTM, and reflects on Marc Marquez's masterful performance in Aragon. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Marc Marquez did not hold back when it came to defending his brother, who has been the subject of criticism following a crash involving Bagnaia. He expressed his frustration with those who have associated Alex's actions with his own controversial past. More than pissed off, I was outraged because being accused of deliberately throwing a rider out as a rider is not something you accept. People see the surname Marquez and mix everything up. I am me and he is him. He is different, and being accused by the same rule of three did not seem fair to me, Marquez told. Marc added that social media reactions tend to exaggerate the situation, with users often being harsher online than in person. He emphasized that the incident was simply a racing incident, and not a deliberate act. Despite the heated discussions following the Aragon GP, Marc highlighted that Bagnaia and Alex have reconciled, understanding that such incidents are part of the high-pressure nature of the sport. Marc also noted that Bagnaia's initial comments were made in the heat of the moment, something he himself has experienced as a competitor. It was the explosion, but they mixed things that have nothing to do with each other. It was a racing incident because my brother was on the line, and Pecco was optimistic about closing the line when he thought he had overtaken him, and he didn't, Marc told. Reflecting on his own season with Ducati, Marquez emphasized the importance of maintaining a positive atmosphere within the team. He highlighted that even in a competitive environment, the team's success hinges on collaboration and mutual respect. In the garage, the atmosphere has to be good, healthy, and with healthy rivalry. On the track, obviously, each one will look after his own interests, but inside the garage we are a team, and we have to make the bike more competitive. After securing a win in Aragon, Marquez feels confident about his progress this season. However, he acknowledged that the goal now is to maintain consistency and build momentum for future races, even as the World Championship seems out of reach. I said before Aragon that I was convinced the victory would come. Now the pending task is to find that consistency from now until the end. At the end of the year there will surely be some setbacks, but I will try to find that consistency to prepare well for next year, concluded from Marquez. As for the World Championship, Marquez recognized the difficulty of overcoming a 70-point deficit, but he remains focused on improving his results in the final stretch of the season. With his victory in Aragon and the promise of more consistent performances, Marc Marquez is showing the resilience that has made him a champion. As he and his brother put the Aragon incident behind them, their focus now shifts to the remaining races of the season, where Marc will look to further close the gap and prepare for a stronger campaign in 2025. Stay tuned for more as the season progresses. The crash between Bagnaia and Alex Marquez during the Aragon GP has dominated headlines, with fans and pundits alike weighing in on the incident. Bagnaia has now addressed the situation, offering an apology for his comments after the race. I would like to apologize to Alex for the words I said after the race. I was in a very nervous and angry state. I never wanted to imply that what happened was intentional. His defense was very aggressive, but my words were a bit harsh towards him, and I apologize for this. Quote from Bagnaia. Bagnaia admitted that while he still felt frustrated with the way Marquez handled the incident, particularly keeping the throttle open during contact, he wanted to close the chapter and move forward. Following the race, the two riders met face-to-face to discuss what had happened. Despite their different perspectives on the crash, Bagnaia said that the matter was resolved with a handshake. At that point, Alex apologized to me. We are two riders, and obviously, we have two different points of view. However, I appreciate that he came to apologize. For me, it was over, and it ended with a handshake. Bagnaia added by Motosan. Bagnaia reiterated his belief that it was impossible for Marquez not to have seen him, but he accepted the apology and decided to put the incident behind him. Looking ahead to the San Marino GP, Bagnaia expressed excitement about returning to Misano, though he admitted that he is still dealing with pain from the crash. Despite not being at 100% physically, Bagnaia is confident about his chances on a track that Ducati has historically performed well on. I'm in a lot of pain everywhere but mainly in my shoulder, neck, and back on the left side, but we're gritting our teeth. I'm always happy to come here. The grip level is excellent, the track is perfect. Our bike has always adapted very well. Bagnaia concluded. Bagnaia reflected on last year's results at Misano, where he secured 2 podium finishes, and expressed hope for another strong showing despite not being fully fit. With his apology to Alex Marquez and focus now shifted to Misano, Pecco Bagnaia is eager to put the Aragon incident behind him. As he prepares for the upcoming San Marino GP, his determination to fight through the physical pain could lead to another standout performance on a track where he has had plenty of success. Stay tuned for updates from the Misano circuit. Coming off a difficult race at Aragon where Jack Miller only managed to score a single point, the Australian rider is hoping for a stronger performance at Misano. Despite the recent struggles of KTM, Miller remains optimistic about the bike's progress. We'll keep our fingers crossed that the grip will be a bit different from last weekend. We had ups and downs throughout the weekend in Aragon, but I didn't feel as bad as the results turned out. We'll try to work on that and I hope to have a stronger performance here. Quote from Miller. Looking ahead, Miller also touched on the importance of the upcoming test at Misano, which could be crucial for KTM's preparation for the Asian Tour. We will try to do what we can in half a day and make a statement. With 2 races on the same track, you have to be ready to start moving straight away, Miller said. Miller was asked to compare his KTM bike to the Ducatis, acknowledging that while Ducati remains the dominant force this season, KTM is making strides. It's different for sure. We've changed a lot of things. The Ducati is very strong at the moment. In terms of consistency, I think they've got it. They've won everything except one race this year, and they've had a lot of podiums. We're trying to find our way. While KTM continues to improve, Miller recognizes the challenge of competing against Ducati's current form but remains hopeful that progress is being made. Miller didn't shy away from praising Marc Marquez's dominant performance in Aragon, describing it as a masterclass and a reminder of the Spaniard's legendary status. He's always been the GOAT, and he's back to do what he's done. He gave us all a lesson. It felt like classic Marc, and he looked good. It's scary for the rest of us because we know how dominant he can be when he's feeling good and healthy. Miller also reflected on Marquez's resurgence, suggesting that the championship battle could become even more intense as Marquez regains form. It will make the championship fight more interesting at the end of the year. 3 of them are going to be there. Things are tight enough, I think. When asked to compare the legacies of Valentino Rossi and Marc Marquez, Miller offered a nuanced perspective, noting that both riders have left an indelible mark on the sport. Vale's story lasted almost 2 decades, and he was able to develop different styles over his reign with both Honda and Yamaha. Marc is still writing his story, and his story isn't over yet. Once that's all done, then we can decide, Miller concluded. As Miller prepares for the San Marino GP, his focus remains on improving KTM's performance and capitalizing on the opportunities that lie ahead. With Marquez back in form and the championship race heating up, fans can expect plenty of excitement in the upcoming rounds. Thanks for watching ZNGP today. This is your MotoGP news update. See you in the next video.